Press subscribe.
Press subscribe.
Press the bell.
Press the bell.
Press like.
Press like.
Change your life one word at a time. Hello and good morning to you and to you. Today we'll be looking at the crypto. You see the drops, you see the discounts, you see things are plummeting, and we'll be looking at Nvidia and 5 stocks to watch, because Nvidia now stock split. But you know, it's not just about investing in the stock market and in the crypto market, it's also about investing in yourself. So we like to start our day correctly with our daily affirmations.
I'm smart, I'm beautiful, I'm strong, I'm wise, I'm powerful. It's going to be a good day. Thank you, Jesus. I'm proud.
Amen. So how are you keeping? I hope you're keeping healthy, eating right, sleeping right, drinking right. So I got my sea moss, my iris moss. How are you guys keeping healthy? So we know in my previous video we talked about different strategies because things have been dropping. We talked about there could be a halving, and if we look at Bitcoin right now, we're almost at 50%. We're almost at a halving. Now this may not be the main halving that we're talking about, because in this 4-year cycle of Bitcoin going up and down and all the bull runs, you get to a peak and then there's always a halving. So it could have been, is this the peak? 64,000, was that the peak? And now we're at a halving, we're nearly 50% down. So is that the peak? Or is it going to be a 2013 bull run? You had it was split to two. So you had a big run, then it dropped down, then you went from you went from like 180 something to went from $60 to 1,000, so another 20x after that. But the chance of it doing a 20x in the same year, so that last one was the same year after it plummeted 80%, done a 20x in that same year. And the chance of that doing that this year is very unlikely, because we've got mainstream, we've got loads of people here. But is it over is the question. We'll be looking at that. And right now we can see the fear and greed. Extreme fear 14. Yesterday was 12, so many people are scared to put more money in and they're taking more money out. Things are plummeting, and we know why it was plummeting. It was not just one effect. Now some people call it a crash, but we know it wasn't just one effect. You had first Tesla saying about the environment of mining Bitcoin is not good, but he did not come out of his Bitcoin position. He's still holding. You also got then China, and every bull run they've done this, saying they're going to ban crypto, and that made investors think, oh, where am I going to need to put my money if things like that, so people took their money out. Then you also got the stock market has been down for a long time. It's only last week some trend reversed for a few stocks that we look at, but the stock market's been down for a long time. When the stock market is down, people are looking to put their money when hedge funds, when bonds are looking better than the stock market. People want to take their money out of risky investments and put it into bonds for more stable growth. So that's another factor. Like some of us are missing Trump. Trump was pumping the stock market. Since Biden's been in, the stock market has been plummeting for ages and ages and ages. So that's another factor. And interest, with inflation high, so prices rising, you'll think that will help the stock market in the sense it could. But then it's worries of interest rates. If inflation's high, they'll have to set interest rates to try and affect so it doesn't get too high. So then people will be worried what's going to happen to their money, so they'll be looking again for store of value. So people will then turn into gold. So the more they turn to gold away from Bitcoin again, then again Bitcoin prices are going down. But that being said, even though some people are buying the dips though, we got Cathy Wood, because you have to watch what the rich are doing. Cathy Wood has bought more and more Coinbase. We can see ARK Investor founder, the ARK Investor founder has been buying Coinbase inspired. ARK is 8 million worth, so I think Coinbase is now one of their stronger positions. Can I see the article without, or if I press this, I don't want to buy it. So let's see. Yes, so about Cathy Wood, who owns ARK, she has, Coinbase is now a top 10 holding for the ARK Innovation ETF after Cathy Wood been buying it. She's also been buying ARK FinTech Innovation ETF. So you have to watch what they're doing. And remember, Tesla, even though he's been dumping and tweeting bad things about Bitcoin, he's still holding Bitcoin. But buying the dip. So last week we talked about if you were, like, you have to look at your strategy overall. Why were you in the crypto market? Was it for 4 years, 5 years, expecting that this whole industry is going to be big in years to come? Because remember, crypto is all about the blockchain and making the web more secure and decentralized so people can do things without government controlling things, and all of that financial technology and helping everybody be able to send, buy and do things with money and lending, and in a more fairer way than the one central government controlling what you can do and things like that. This is what crypto is about. So are you involved in that for the long term and believe this is the future? Or were you just trying to make fast gains? Now, if you're trying to make fast gains, then one investment strategy we talked about last week was selling while things are volatile and holding and waiting to re-enter, looking for a good re-entry point. So if you did that 2 weeks ago, and I talked about, or last week, I talked about, you might have missed some of these 60% drops and 80% drops in some of the altcoins. But if you're just a long-term investor and you're just holding it for 3, 4, 5 years, which is the main thing to do when you invest in, you don't care about these little emotions, because you have to remember your plan, not your mood. But if we're buying the dips, so buy incrementally as the price goes down, creating that average price. Like 2 hours ago, this Bitcoin was at $35,000. In only 1 hour, 5.7% down. It's now near 32. It's gone all the way in this low, in this downtrend. It's got to 30 and it's bounced straight up. So people are saying you can set at all that 30. Some saying even 28k. And if it bounce there, then it can bounce back up. And last time, as you can see, the 3 degrees high in March 2020 was the last time there was a big plummeting, and it recovered in like 8 weeks. So we're expecting this to recover in 8 weeks is our target. So it still doesn't mean it's a bearish market, because if we still look at what are we looking at? If we still look at the year, in a year it's still 261% up, but in 30 days we can see it is down minus 36.5%. Let's look at the 90-day chart. So 3 months. So in 3 months, we from 8th of March going up, and slowly going up, but since we can say that peak there at 14th of April, so for 1 month we've been going down and down. So is this the start of a bear market? Remember, 50% is a very scary part. 50%, we haven't had much 50%, and then you continue the bear market, but we had in 2013 when you had that, and then you had a 20x. So it's still possible that people, investors, are buying the dips. Like we can see, Cathy is buying Coinbase, which is linked to Bitcoin. So in all the probabilities, I would say it's not over and people are buying the dip. So if you are buying the dip, what's our strategy? Buy incrementally, the price goes down, create an average position, aiming to buy more as the price decreases further. But it's not financial advice, so buy it now. If you get to 30, buy more, 28, things like that. If you're planning to hold for a long term, that is. Or if you're just swing trading, then you've taken some profits that we talked about in other videos. Take the profits, so you won't care about these drops because you've made some money, isn't it? Wait until the price settles and perhaps even shows signs of recovering, and buy at that point, buy a reaction off of the support level. So set buy orders at a lower price and let them fill. Setting buys just before historic support levels, large buy walls and psychological levels is an especially good strategy, as prices tend to do at least a quick bounce off of these levels. So this is what we're looking at for buying the dip. So, but we've got some stocks to watch. We're talking about Coinbase, Cathy Wood's been buying, but Nvidia have announced a 4-for-1 stock split. Now some people announce stock splits so that they can make their share price look cheaper for especially retail investors that will look at a whole Nvidia, which is right now like at $580, and think, oh, it's not looking very attractive. They have an old stock, so they make the stock price look cheaper by doing stock splits. But that was old school ways, because now we can buy fractional shares of companies with brokers in certain places. So that, as doing stock splits for that reason, has kind of died down. But some would still do it. Another reason is they could want to be joined the Dow Jones exchange, like the blue chip company, because you being there means you're one of the big boys, and you can't do that if your share price is a certain price level. You might be too high for it. So that can be one incentive to release their share price so that they'll look more affordable to get into this index for the blue chip companies. But you can see the split will come in form of a stock dividend distributing the 3 additional shares of common stocks for every share. So Apple did this back in March or April, so did Tesla and Apple. There's big bubbles when people announce stocks, but everyone's like, oh my gosh, it's going to be cheaper, people will not get in. So there's that, which could affect the price, or it could be a fact that they believe they're doing so well, so they want to make it more looking good for the share price, and then they will continue to do well, but we don't know. Last what I've seen is a bubble, and it doesn't change really anything, because whether you owed one, for example, a 4-to-1 stock split, if I owed one for $500, now they do the stock split, I own 4 for $100 each. Is that right? $400. So I hold one for $400. If they do the 4-to-1 stock split, then I now have 4, each one's $100. So it doesn't really change your price or how much you have compared to the market cap, but for some reason it does create bubbles and interest because it's news, isn't it? So the news, why are they doing it? Are they expecting more? So that can help the price change and things like that. But we can see, if we look at Dow Jones futures, there's 5 stocks to watch. We've got here Nvidia, we talked about. Nvidia as well is technically into, so they released for Ethereum mining in March, a new chip, new processor that will help Ethereum mining. So they're also into the blockchain very much. So that was a new thing that was doing well for them as well. So but Nvidia has been one to watch for ages actually, because if we look from where were we? I could see their price somewhere. Show. Yeah, here we go. The stock more than doubled last year. Shares have surged a staggering 1,250% over the past 5 years. Remember, investing is about 5 years, so that is a 12x. If you put £1,000, you would now have 12,000 pounds. From £1,000, 5 years you now have £12,000. But it's what we're looking at as long-term investments, things like that. So where will they be in the next 5 years? And Coinbase and all these other ones. But right now we can see 5 to watch is Google still doing well, Freeport, McCoy, SCX, and Roblox on the recent, but watch them, Tesla still, and Nvidia. So Nvidia is actually now breaking the downtrend Friday and in a range from its 50-day line. However, the earnings are on tap on Wednesday. That earnings report and Nvidia stock reaction will be important. We've got Google stock is perhaps the best looking big cap tech right now. The mega cap is in range from the 10-week line and breaking a short trend line, relative strength line. For Google stocks is near record high as well. Facebook also looking healthy. We got FCX stock is still